What's up, YouTube? This will be my realest live video yet. Um, I'm recording this because it's Friday night, and Friday night is not supposedly the night that you should work, but for me it's quite simple. I had a very busy day today. I think I broke the record for most meetings in a day. I think I had 9 meetings today, and I haven't kept up with the vlog, the daily vlog, and I need to pick up because there are still some days left in the 30-day challenge SR. So what I'm really interested in right now is to see how many people on Friday night are actually on YouTube watching stuff. I see a couple of viewers already, so if you're watching this, just put a comment down below. Don't worry, the live comments won't be seen afterwards. So if you want to comment right now, the comment that you're putting in right now won't be seen when this video is converted to an actual video that you're going to watch. And wow, I lost a couple of viewers because I asked them to put in a comment. Interesting. Hey, what I'm focusing on today is a little bit of documentation, but also a little bit of inspiration for you guys. And what I want to talk about today is your goal as an entrepreneur. A lot of people look at me, see a lot of things that I'm doing, but don't have a clear idea why I'm doing all the things that I'm doing. And for me, it's because I really want to help to change something in my country. So most of you know I'm from Suriname. I don't know where the nationalism comes from, that it's that much. It's something among many people in developing countries that they are proud of where they come from. But for me personally, it's a really big thing. I studied abroad and I came back to my country. First off, to change something, to help develop my country. And the interesting thing about it is that I'm doing a lot of things. And if you look at it from one perspective, if you look for it at the moment, you probably don't understand or won't understand what I'm doing. But in the long run, the idea is to create a better future for everybody in my country. There are a lot of things going on. This weekend, for instance, there are a lot of events, and the last weekend of October, there are a lot of events as well. And unfortunately, I cannot focus on all of them. So I will have to decide and pick the events that I'm actually going to be part of, and actually also going to figure out how I can be in two places at once. And I experimented with that a month ago to put on video and content on YouTube, which people can watch when I'm actually presenting somewhere else. But I also am thinking of finding ways that you can support multiple projects or multiple events without actually being there. One way is to, of course, run a business. I mean, a friend of mine, he runs a photography business, and then if he has to be at a certain place, he'll send somebody else to capture the pictures. But that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue that I have right now is I'm promoting certain events, and because I'm promoting a lot of events, it's sometimes difficult because events will be at the same time. But both are events that I really actually support. So I want to find a way to actually be at two places at once. If you have an idea for that, if you have an out-of-the-box idea for being at two places at once, I really want to know, because I really think that this is something that will continue to grow in the world that we are in. So for me, being an entrepreneur is not something that I've actually thought about. Hey, Delta Hotel, thanks for joining in. I'm great. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. I really, really appreciate that. So the thing about entrepreneurship is that it's not something that I thought about. For me, I'm a son of entrepreneur, actually someone who became an entrepreneur, but actually studied something completely different, and a son of an artist, a visual artist. And since I was young, I've actually been pushed toward entrepreneurship. Not that I had to become an entrepreneur, but that I started thinking as one. So for me, it's very difficult not to say like, okay, so if people ask me for advice, how do you become an entrepreneur? It's not something that I really thought about. And I can only tell from my experience that, I mean, it's the same thing that everybody tells you. You have to have perseverance. You have to be able to believe that it's going to be good, because there will be rough times. I'm going through some rough times as well. I've went through them. I'm going through them again. And you don't always see it because it's not important for others to see when you're struggling with a certain aspect of life or a certain aspect of your business. And that being said, I'm not really down at the moment or anything right now. There's still a lot of things in my business that I want to improve and I want to get better in, and I don't want to get surprised by. So those are things that you really have to look for as you want to, if you want to be an entrepreneur. But here comes the interesting part. For me, it's never been about money, and I really want to share that information with you. For me, being an entrepreneur has never been about having a better life financially. It's never been about having the biggest company financially, but it is about having an impact. And for me, having an impact on my society, the place that I live in, the community that I live in, that's very important for me. Again, from the perspective that I want to change, to bring change in my country. And a lot of things that I do are somewhat related in bringing change, in providing a better future of, or helping others to get a better future. And that's the thing that's really important to me. So when the money aspects comes along, for me, I need as much money as I need to be able to survive or have a constant flow that I don't have to worry about money. And I know there are other entrepreneurs who think about this differently. I know there are entrepreneurs who have goals, and goals that are directly linked to money and directly linked to how much you make. But yes, exactly. Change is definitely the thing that we need. And don't think of it that our country is the worst country in the world, because it isn't. Because a lot of times when you live in a developing country, you often feel like it's unbelievable. How can my country be like this? How can people think like this? How can politics work like this? How can the economy work like this? But that's not really the fault of the certain people that are in place. It's more kind of like a structure. And you have to understand the structure that your country is from. You have to understand the background that your country is from. A lot of people that live in countries where the Western countries where everything is good, they cannot imagine how terrible it is in other countries. For instance, the thing about the Bill Gates, what Bill Gates did at his TED talk, and yet he let mosquitoes out during a TED talk, and people are like, "Oh my God, he's letting mosquitoes out. He's letting these malaria mosquitoes out." Coming from a country where there is malaria and there are mosquitoes, and actually there are mosquitoes in my house right now. It's really weird for me to picture a country where you never get bitten by mosquitoes. Another example that I want to give to you, and I mean this might sound crazy if you're watching this right now, but when I studied in Europe, I had a housemate, and the housemate, she kept leaving her carton of milk outside of the fridge. And I kept getting frustrated that she left the carton of milk outside of the fridge. But because in Suriname it's 30 degrees Celsius out there. So if you leave your carton of milk outside of the fridge, you cannot drink it anymore the following day. So for me that was really weird, but it was part of a cultural awareness, and a awareness living in another country, that things are different in every country of the world. And getting back to the issue is, if you want to develop your country, especially if you're from a developing country, you shouldn't look too much at what is bad in your country, because it will drown you. It will straight up drown you if you think too much about what's negative in your country. I'm not saying that you should allow it, but I'm also saying that don't get too fixated on what's wrong instead of actually working on what is right. So what I want to achieve as an entrepreneur is that mindset. That mindset that if we collectively think about solutions and collectively work together, at a certain point, we will also ask responsibility for those that aren't doing that. We will also ask responsibility from those that are doing business in a non-ethical way. But first, we have to group together and make change, and make others see as well that change is possible. Because the biggest reason why people don't join in is because they don't see success. They don't see actually achievement. And when they see it, they can either become jealous of what you have achieved, or they can be inspired. And in the generation that we live in now, the generation where we can record everything, and I can record this, and I can look back at this 5 years from now, and evaluate if the things that I'm saying now are really the things that help me progress and help me get further. But for me, that's really the key to the society that we live in. I mean, I'm recording this on my phone, and there could be one small thing that I said that could spark an idea in somebody's head and make them think like, wow, I can actually do that. I can actually achieve something with myself. I don't have to be afraid about failure because failure makes me grow. I don't have to be afraid that nobody thinks the content or the quality of the products that I make is good because I have to learn my craft and I have to get better in it. And that's something you have to go through. I mean, I could think and watch this video and think like, yeah, this live video, I need a standard, I need better lighting, I need better sound. I probably should do it in a studio. I probably should have a guest and have a topic that I talk about with a guest, and it will be more interesting. It will. That's something that I will do. But I have to make purpose as well. Yes, that's true. That's true. But Aisha, Enrico, thanks for commenting. And yes, we're struggling with things. I'm gonna give you an example. Um, every day there's something that I struggle with, and it could be the worst thing, the easiest thing, like something like not having any clean clothes to wear. That can be a struggle. I mean, you have to go to work, you have to be a representative, but you're also on yourself. You have a busy work life, you have a busy family life as well, and you have to iron your clothes. And that's something you struggle with. And then for me, there are two things you can do, or actually three, because one is what I'm doing right now. Make the most of it in the situation, get your ironing board out, start ironing clothes, and wear those clothes. The the second one is the one you don't want. Is like, okay, forget about it, and you start wearing clothes that are wrinkled and start taking care less. And the third one is like, okay, listen, I need to step up my game. On Sunday, no matter what I think, I'm start gonna iron all my clothes and have all my clothes ready for the whole work week. And on Monday, when I start working, every day of the week, I have the clothes that I want to wear on that particular day. And then you can even go a step further. I'm going to that and that client. They like those colors, so I'm putting on those clothes. They are more professional. Okay, then I'll put on my professional clothes. I'm going to more leisurely activity. I'm going to put on leisurely clothes. And you all project it and you all plan it and prepare it. That's one great way to actually go about. And that's something called dilemma flipping. You're having a dilemma and you make it actually into, you have something which is a negative, but you make it into a positive. And it really, really helps people out once you start thinking from that way as well. So for me, the entrepreneurial part is more about inspiring. And what happens for me, for instance, is that I focus so much on that part of my business that I forget to focus on the cash flow of the company, on making sure that everybody in the company is satisfied, making sure that all the projects go according to plan. And yes, I'm actually saying make the change by yourself. I mean, the most famous song is one of Michael Jackson. I mean, Michael Jackson's songs touched everybody. Even people who weren't born when Michael Jackson was famous listened to his songs and are like, wow. And I mean, Man in the Mirror is the most perfect example of everything. I mean, if you really want to make change in the world, if you really believe in something, but you're not acting accordingly, people will not believe you. If you're really serious about climate change, for instance, and you're not using less energy, you're not making sure everything is clean, you're not speaking to others about it to learn more about what climate change actually means and what are all the effects that are causing climate change. If you don't know about the ecological footprint that you have and you're not working on your own ecological footprint, but you want to talk about climate change, then you're only doing part of it. Yeah, you're talking about it, you're creating awareness maybe, but you're not really helping to achieve a goal. And this is difficult because people tell me like, yeah, but listen, if you really want to change climate change, you have to watch what you eat as well. And then other people will say like, oh, you're vegetarian because you want to make it a better world. But yeah, there's still overconsumption everywhere in the world. How will you change that? But it's just the idea, because once you do it, it can spark a little something inside others. They start doing it, and all of a sudden, you have a movement of people that are actually working together bringing their powers together, and then you actually can make change. So for me, this message to you, the people that are watching this video, my message to you is, yes, you need money to survive. And there have been studies like the amount of money that you need on a monthly basis to actually have a good life. And everything that goes above that, it's unnecessary. One of my favorite quotes is from Ricardo Semler. Ricardo Semler says, once you start donating and giving back money, basically you have taken too much. And that really makes me think. It really makes me think about the economic structure. And for me, the advice that I want to give, especially to youngsters who don't have a lot of experience, don't forget, you can be very smart. You can be the smartest person in the room when you're 17 years old, 18 years old. You can be the smartest person in the room, but you don't have the experience. You don't know how the structures work. And I'm talking about company structure. I'm talking about national culture. I'm talking about the economics, the world economics. You have an idea what you've read, of what you've learned, but you haven't actually experienced it. So what I want to tell you is, when you're young, when you're 17, 18 years old, but even older, but still have a young mindset, don't make money be your driving force. Don't focus too much on just the money. Focus on having enough money so you can live your dreams, but don't let money be your end goal. Just focus on how you can actually make change and how you can actually make your own life better and the life of others around you better. Because at the end of the day, you can be a millionaire. You can donate how much you want. But the damage has already been done. So don't focus on the green and keep it clean. Hey, this was my rant for tonight. This was a rant straight from the heart. It was very raw. I'm in my guest bedroom right now, and I just wanted to share something. And I wanted, instead of talking about how the day went, what I'm going to do, I wanted to give some advice. Some advice that hopefully later in the future I will remodel, rewrite, rethink, republish, and give more insight in why I think it's so important that when I speak to so many youngsters, especially in developing countries, that their main goal is to make money. And then when I ask them how, they don't really have an answer for me. They just want to make money. If I ask them why, it's not even like they say it's gonna make them happy or it's gonna make me successful or this is something that they want to buy. It's just that they want to make money, and that's it. And that's great. But that should not be your life goal, just to make money. I want to keep it as this. It's about 18 minutes. I want to thank those people that have been watching. Yes, I think I just had an ad on my phone and I disconnected shortly. But I want to thank those who are watching. YouTube will make this video into a permanent video so that you can share it as well. But this is my advice for today. I hope it was useful to you guys. I want to wish you the best for this weekend. If you're in the opportunity, you still feel healthy, you still feel excited, you feel inspired, don't just go and watch TV right now. Go and do something that prepares you for next week. Go and do something that prepares you for next year, or go to do something useful that will make you accelerate tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Make the most out of it. Hey Ivana, I'm just closing off. I just want to thank you for watching. I'm following you. Congratulations, Ivana. Congratulations on your 100 post on Instagram. I saw that. So my compliments for that. And keep doing what you're doing. We love it. Let's develop Suriname together and let's develop the world together. Thank you for watching, guys and girls.